When I was 7 years old, my sisters and I would go into the woods behind our house and build forts out of twigs and rocks. I was always working on building my own fort so that, as my grandmother quotes me, I could live alone and do whatever I want, whenever I wanted. Little did I know, I would design my life around these core values of freedom and independence. In fact, for the first 5 years of my 20s, I wrote down in a journal this one phrase: I am 100% responsible for creating the life of my dreams. To me, that meant traveling the world while building a flexible and fulfilling career. And especially now, while working with clients as a personal finance consultant, I found that there are two main factors that can get in the way of designing your dream life. The first is self-awareness, and the second is money. Let's start with the money aspect. When I was 15, I landed my first job at the public library. I started to earn what, to 15-year-old me, felt like real money. And for the first time, I started to question money. What should I do with the money I have coming in, and how can I make more of it? I wasn't the only one asking myself these questions because most of us don't know the answers. According to a TIAA Institute study, about 1 in 5 US adults spend 10 hours every single week, that's 40 hours per month, thinking about and dealing with issues related to their personal finances. That same study found that 31% of adults are debt constrained, meaning that their debt and their monthly debt payments prevent them from prioritizing other areas of their finances, such as saving and investing for retirement. And so it's no surprise that money is a source of stress for many of us. Oftentimes, we get so lost in the day-to-day challenges rooted in our finances and work that we don't stop and think about what we actually want to be doing with our time. Many of us have that one moment in our lives that first causes us to think about these kinds of things. When I was a broke college student walking these halls 8 years ago, from the outside, I looked like I had it all together. 3-season Division I athlete, honors program, resident assistant, part-time job. In reality, the stress of trying to do all of these things to maintain scholarships and afford school were crushing me. One afternoon, I was in a meeting with my boss, the resident director. It had been a sleepless night on RA duty, and I had a project due the next day before traveling overnight to a track meet. And as I'm sitting there in the chair across from her, all of these thoughts started to spiral. What if I can't do this job? They're going to fire me. I'll lose room and board. I'll have to drop out. I'll never get a job to pay back these loans. My heart pounded, my vision went blurry, and I suddenly struggled to breathe. We later learned that I had experienced a panic attack. After this incident, I started to question what I was doing with my life. What are these efforts and achievements really for? I realized that all I truly wanted was freedom and independence, to do what I want, where I want, with the people I love. And so, with this as my North Star, I set out to learn as much as I could about creating this kind of freedom. Money, I came to understand, was the number one tool I could use to create the life of my dreams. I learned everything I could about personal finance, and it paid off. I bought and self-managed a 3-unit property at age 25. With tenants paying off my mortgage, I had eliminated my largest expense, my housing expense, enabling me to travel the world while working remotely. I learned Cuban salsa in Havana. I hiked through waterfalls and panoramic glacial views in the Swiss Alps, and spent months in Central America exploring volcanoes and Mayan ruins between the work week. After hearing this, a lot of people ask if I won the lottery or had a trust fund or a six-figure salary. The answer is no. My real secret was being intentional with the money I did have coming in. You see, I realized that travel and experiences brought me the most joy. So every paycheck, I set aside money in a separate savings account just for travel. I also recognized that the ability to say no to a job or living situation that was no longer serving me was also important. So I saved and invested 50% of my income every month. This created more options and flexibility in my life. Consistently saving and investing proved to be superpowers. These habits enabled me to pay off my $15,000 of debt in 18 months. And within 4 years of graduating from college, my net worth grew to 6 figures. Now, this did not all happen overnight. Mastering personal finance involved spending hours every week learning about investing and good financial habits and taking action. The second key was self-awareness. Self-awareness is a muscle that you can use to inform your ideal lifestyle. You can build self-awareness by stepping outside of your comfort zone, trying new things, exploring new places, observing how others design their lives, and most importantly, creating space in your life for self-reflection. I'll share 3 questions that I found helpful when it comes to self-reflection. Number 1, if you knew for certain that you could not fail, what would you do? And 2, what would you do for work if you didn't actually need the money? And finally, how would you describe your ideal day? How do you want to feel going about your day? Who are you spending the most time with? What kinds of projects are you working on? Try and visualize your ideal day in as much detail as possible. Prompts like these can help you figure out what it is you want your life to look like. And once you know where you want to go, it's so much easier to design a plan to get you there. I love my life. I found a way to become self-aware of the life I wanted and used money as a tool to design the life of my dreams without a stressful 80-hour work week or sacrificing the things that I love to do. I like to think that 7-year-old me would be proud of this life I'm working towards, where I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, with the people I love. I'll reshare the phrase that I wrote down in a journal every day during those years of massive growth. I am 100% responsible for creating the life of my dreams. We all deserve to build our own forts based on our own core values. I have created the life of my dreams, and now it's time for you to create yours.